He will make a decision before there's an end to that pause. Right now, it's been extended through August, and we have talked about how we are looking at, and he is looking at, other executive authority options he has to bring relief to people who have student loans.
So that is Jen Psaki responding to the fact that news is now broken that Joe Biden is heavily implying behind closed doors that he is going to cancel at least some student loan debt. So let's jump into it. The football has been placed out, the finger's on top of it. Should I run and try to kick it, or is it gonna be pulled away? I don't know. But anyway, we have this news coming out of a meeting with the Congressional Hispanic Caucus and Joe Biden. Apparently happened on Monday. And Representative Tony Cardenas said he first asked the president to extend the moratorium on student loan repayment, which is set to expire on August 31st. It's a great idea, have it expire just like a month and a half before the election. Biden responded with a smile, well, Tony, I've extended it every time. Cardenas said he then urged the president to issue an executive order to relieve at least $10,000 in student loan debts per person. In making his case, he acknowledged that Latinos in the United States who are carrying student debt still have more than 80% of their bill due after more than a dozen years. This is how they get you. You pay and you pay and you pay, and you either break even. In some cases, you might owe more than you did years before. So apparently, in response, the president smiled and said, you're gonna like what I do on that. I'm looking to do something on that, and I think you're gonna like what I do. Jordan, are we gonna like what he does? What do you think?
I won't believe it or get excited until I see it. Because this is something he campaigned on repeatedly. We went through yesterday on Deep Dive every comment he made on the campaign trail about this issue specifically, with promises ranging from a $10,000 cancellation to $50,000 cancellation to complete forgiveness if you went to a public school or an HBCU and make under $125,000. That's a very specific promise that it seems like they had been considering. They can do that with the stroke of a pen immediately. They could have done it day one, day two, today, tomorrow, yesterday, and they still haven't done it. So I don't believe it until I see it. I think they like to float it out there to see if it helps with their approval ratings with young people and then see where they go from there. But they might treat it as like a political football and try to do it right before the election. They might try to, treat it, use it as a carrot, continue the extension on the pause through the election and say, oh, you got to vote for us and then we'll cancel. We just need to increase our margins and do it in Congress because we're going to face a legal challenge if we do it via executive order.
If they do that,
I refuse to get excited until something happens.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but what if we got excited about it though? Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't you? Don't you want to be excited? Don't you want to feel that thrill again, Jordan? Anyway, no, I am worried about the same thing. If they say you need to vote for us to get it like extended, or you idiots, they already did that in 2020. You made specific promises, as Jordan noted. He said it behind closed doors. So again, it's not even as public as another public promise would be. So yes, I think the safe bet is to not get overly excited about it. He's made these promises before over literally years. We're talking going back to 2019. It has been years. So we'll see. Representative Darren Soto, who was at the meeting, says that he implied he'd like to do it sooner rather than later. Well, you know what the best kind of sooner is? Nower, like right now. You could do it right now, today, and that would be great. Maybe they think to get a bump out of it, they need to do it closer to the election. These are not people who understand political strategy, so don't give them any credit for that. We'll see what happens, but it's consequential. There are tens of millions of people whose lives have been so altered by this debt. It so changes their ability to choose what sort of job they want, where they want to live, if they want to start a business, all of this. They desperately need relief from this. He's in a position to do it. He better do it soon. Any final thoughts?
Just leaving people in limbo isn't a smart strategy. Like I have $80,000 in student loan debt between my undergraduate degree and my master's degree. And I went to two extremely not prestigious public schools, two very cheap public schools, and I still have $80,000 in debt. Yeah. So leaving people in limbo, what is that supposed to do? Like, what's your strategy here? Because now it's like, do I have to pay again starting in September, or are you going to extend it like maybe to February? Like, I'm fed up with it. Just tell me what I'm going to do, because interest is going to start kicking in and make it even higher. And then I'm just going to be chasing that interest, the compounding interest, for years, decades.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't keep dragging it out. Like, you are sending a message to people with that too, and it is not a good one.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.